The following episode is brought to you by Poison City Brewing, proud makers of Durban Poison Cannabis Lager, the beer that invites you to live your poison.
The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is here. It's real hip-hop music from the soul, y'all. Yeah, check it.
How's it going, guys? It's myself, Nasi Pizwane. I'm back again with another episode of Sludge Underground Podcast. It's another Monday special. And today we have a very special artist, as always. Every single artist that comes on this podcast is special. So, bro, I'm going to need for you to introduce yourself. And, we'll take it from there.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. Hi to everybody listening. I go by the name ThisGuy ThatGuy. I'm a writer and a rapper. I make music. I'm excited to be on the show.
So I want us to first tackle the name, bro. This guy, that guy. What is that about? Tell us a bit of the history behind the name.
All right. So when I got to Durban, I auditioned for this art club. It's called Keen Artists Theatre. It was based in Westville, UKZN. So when I went to audition, the guy that was holding the auditions, when it was my turn, actually, he referred to me as this guy. I was like, yo, let's give a chance to this guy. And then, I went up on stage and I thought, damn, that's rude. How rude of you. You call me this guy. But it clicked because, since then, like everybody else in that room started calling me this guy. This guy, yo, this is actually a nice name. And I took the name This Guy, because I was thinking to myself, hey, I'm just an artist. I'm just a mouthpiece. I'm just a voice for the people. I'm just a mouthpiece. There's nothing important about me. So I'm just another guy. I'm just this guy or that guy. So that's how the name came about, This Guy, That Guy.
Yeah, I wanna disagree with you, bro. When you say there's nothing really, hectic or nothing that matters about you. You're just a mouthpiece, bro. We've seen your Instagram. We've seen, the amounts of followers that you have. I've been going through it, and I've also been seeing, you posing there next to some of the hottest artists, on the come up. I've seen Touchline on there. I've seen Jimmy Wiz on there. All these, even Scoop Makati, or like, bro. How do you sort of associate yourself with such, like hectic artists in the South African music scene? Walk me through that. How does that even, happen, bro?
All right. So I've always been a person that goes out there for things that I want and believe in. So I've always made sure that I align myself with the right type of concerts and performances. I've went for almost, all the big concerts that were hosted in Durban. And throughout that, just, going for these shows, you run into people, especially hip-hop shows, there's always ciphers and all that. So, you run into people that are going to hear you and they're impressed and they like you. And then they're on some, yo, tell you what, there's this happening on this day. Would you like to pull through? So you end up going there and you run into these people. So how I met up with most of these guys is I had auditioned for One Mic, which is a rap battle show that plays on SABC One. So from that audition, one of the hosts of the show with Oskido on Metro FM, Rashid K, he's a great hip hop head who's done so much for the culture. He's part of the people that gave us Back to the City, that gave us the South African Hip Hop Awards and all that. So I'm guessing he saw me and he liked me, and he invited me for a couple sessions on the Rap Activity Jam, which plays on Metro every Saturday from 4 to 7 p.m. So from there, I guess I've just been building momentum towards, him inviting me for the corner ciphers. I don't know if you know the corner ciphers. They usually happen every year during the South African Hip Hop Awards. So when I went to those awards, that's when I met Touchline and a couple other artists, and we met also for the cipher, and we met for the actual awards. And how I met Scoop, it was during the conference for the Durban Varsity Fest. It's all about the culture conference. So while I was there was a couple questions we were asking, and what I did is I actually freestyled when I got the mic, because Scoop was like, yo, we're in a hip hop show, but nobody's gonna rap. So I just literally took the mic and I started rapping. And I guess, that's how I got to meet Scoop. And I guess that's how I keep on running into these people. Honestly, it's nothing that I am doing personally. I'm not running into them. it's not planned, it's not intentional. It just happens, and it feels so great running into these people because most of them I look up to. I got introduced to Touchline December 2019 by a friend, and I said to the friend, I'm going to work with Touchline. But I was joking at the time. And it was so weird for me to now meet up with Touchline around December still and be in the same cypher as him, and to be on the same TV show as him, the Blow Up or Cave show, which is a show, a documentary that focuses on the new wave, your upcoming artists, upcoming hip-hop artists, and it's just been so humbling to be considered part of the new wave and to be put with these people that I've actually looked up to, your Jimmy Wees, your Touchline, as you've mentioned. So it's just crazy, it's nothing planned. I'd say it's the universe, I believe in the universe a lot.
Yeah, bro, that is very solid, actually. And what would you say it has sort of taught you, being around all these, big names from the South African music scene?
If anything, it's taught me to believe in myself even more. It's taught me that you call things out, you call things out in the universe. And if you believe and move towards it, then the universe will definitely put you where you're trying to be. Because often people make the mistake of saying they want this, they want that, and they believe in it, but they don't do anything to move towards it. So, if anything, it's motivated me to work. Not everyone will notice, but the right people will notice. Because I remember just recently, I was part of the KZN Lockdown Cypher by Zakwe. And it's crazy because I've always looked up to Zakwe. So to be part of the KZN Lockdown Cyphers that he's hosting, it was great. And it was basically a confirmation to me, on some, you are going to get where you're trying to go. And during that cypher, I actually called out DJ Switch, and he gave me an interview on his Put Me On Switch show, which happens every Tuesday and Thursday. So if anything, it's taught me that call out what you want, go for it. Don't stop believing. And just because not everyone notices at that time doesn't mean the right people are not taking note of you. It might take time before they actually communicate or say, hey, I see you doing this, and that, but keep on doing it. That's one thing that I've learned, to believe in myself even more.
Yeah, that is very impressive, bro. And you mentioned, quite a lot of ciphers there. The one that you were in with Touchline, and the one that you also did, Zakwe and all that there, bro. So for you, when it comes to things like ciphers, how do you sort of approach that? What is your sort of, game plan before you get into a cipher?
Well, for me, ciphers are like practice. For soccer players, they need to go to practice. People don't care for lyricism that much anymore. And for some people, it's not that they don't care, but they just don't have the attention span. So on songs, sometimes we end up having to dumb it down a bit so we can, accommodate for the people. However, the thing about ciphers is that's where you get to be, 100% an MC. You take out all those skills that you have and you try out new things as well. So for me, ciphers are exciting because I take them as practice, and every time I go for a cipher, I just make sure that I leave an impression. I have to say something that's gonna, intrigue someone else and make them want to know more about this kid. Who's this kid? Oh, God damn, he said this, he said that. So for me, I think ciphers are really important. They're an important part of the rap game, of the hip hop game, and they've helped me, with a lot, in terms of not just recognition, but practice, upgrading in my skill, improving and growing. Nation of Islam, they in America, the 5%ers, they believe in ciphering. To cipher is to basically pass life around. You know what I'm saying? It's like a cycle of life. That's basically what a cipher means to them, and that's what it means to me as well personally. Because as a person that loves rap, I just always feel so alive in a cipher, getting to hear other people spit their own bars, play around with words, and they impress me. It helps me grow. It wants me to do better, because at the end of the day, hip hop is still a competitive sport. So you get to see just how crazy other MCs are during those ciphers, and it helps you to improve. It helps your writing. So by the time you go back into the studio and you're trying to make those songs, you've grown as an artist. So yeah.
So just bouncing off of what of the last thing that you said there, about you having conducted your research in terms of what ciphers are. You mentioned some really like OG sort of, hip hop movements there. And, how much of an influence would you say, hip hop in America and overseas sort of had on you starting out as a hip hop artist?
I won't lie, bro. I've growing up. My uncle actually used to play a lot of American hip hop, and also just in school. We grew up listening to a lot of American hip hop. However, I did listen to a couple of artists from even here, South Africa. Your Missing Tabi, your Optical Illusion, your Proverb, your Amu during Outrageous Records. Only now did we start playing, local hip hop that much on TV and on radio. So I've always just been listening to, your American hip hop. I'm sure you can even tell from the style of writing or the choice of words here and there, the slang and whatnot. But I try my best to fuse a little bit of South African slang here and there, especially on my ad libs, because I'm part of a crew called Kids in Africa, and we try our best to put a little bit of our Africanness in our work. If it's not through the language of communication, then it's in the content or in terms of the sound itself, the choice of instruments we pick and whatnot. But yeah, American hip hop has played a huge influence in my life. I've learned a lot about American politics, American history, but I think it's also the same for South African hip hop as well. There's a whole lot that I've learned over the years, and I try my best to balance those out so as to accommodate somebody here from South Africa, and when somebody from America hears my work, they can still relate and like, oh yeah, because just speaking of that, recently Dave East is working on this mixtape, and he's trying to put on African artists as much as he can, basically artists from around the world. It's called the East Side Raps by Dave East, and he hit me up on Instagram. Apparently my account popped, and he checked out a couple videos and he liked them. So he recently asked if I could pick one of the songs to be featured on the tape. Any of my songs that I fuck with, that I like, to be put on his tape. You know what I'm saying? So even that, the fact that somebody from America listened to a kid from South Africa in the Eastern Cape, and they were like, yo, should I actually, I could put this on my tape. I like this, that for me is crazy. That for me also confirms that, there isn't that much of a gap. And I'm happy because even with my people here, my South African brothers, they're not complaining. They're not on some, yo, you sound too American or anything. I was recently approached by an organization, Rep Out of It. It's like an African movement where they take African artists from all over the country. And I was put along the same cipher as a guy from Nigeria who raps in Pidgin English. And that for me was crazy because it's like, yo, bro, even African people relate to your shit, So the American influence did not take anything away from me, from my Africanness. However, I could never deny the influence that American rap has had on me.
I think you've got a really nice blend between the two, bro. Like that was very well explained. Now, looking at you name dropped there. I think you said you guys call yourself Kids in Africa. The group that you're a part of. Tell me a bit more about that. How did that come about? And yeah.
So we met at UKZN, Westville. I was doing my first year in 2014. And there was this art club called Keen Artists. So I tried to audition for them in 2014, but I chickened out. And then I went back beginning of the year in 2015. And I met a guy there, Mike, who was a poet, and he's a rapper as well. And we I guess we both liked each other's energy, so we started hanging. And at the same time, I was hanging with this other bro of mine as well. He goes by the name Elohim right now. And we've been hanging throughout. And I guess it was ordained to happen, bro, because right after that, we ran into another, guy who's now part of the crew, Uzolani. I believe in synchronicity. I believe everything is bound to happen. Every event correlates with another event that has either taken place or is still to take place, and it's bound to lead you to a certain place. So I feel like that's how Kids in Africa came about, because it was different. We're from different backgrounds. One is from Free State, one is from KZN, Eastern Cape. We from different backgrounds, and how we met was crazy, because I feel like when we all met, we all knew that we would like to do something together. We all knew that we were called for something bigger. So we met at UKZN campus. We started hanging, started taking each other's verses here and there. They'd rap for me, I'd rap for them, vice versa. We'd have ciphers. And then this one day we just thought, hey, how about we just start a crew and, see where it takes us. And then we've never looked back ever since.
That is very special, bro. I really like that, and how you guys sort of came together from these different places and whatnot. That is really solid. Talking about places, you did mention that you came through. You're from the Eastern Cape, and that you came down to Durban and whatnot. What motivated that move from you going, moving from the Eastern Cape to Durban? And can we sort of pick up, what sort of influences, from the Eastern Cape would you say you have in your music?
Yeah. When I finished my matric in 2013, I just literally wanted to take a break and focus on the music. But my mom was like, over my dead body, you are going to school. So I walked in at UKZN. I didn't even apply. I walked in, they took me. So that's how I got to Durban. That's how I went to Durban. That's why I'm in Durban, because of school, which is something that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for my mom, I guess. But one thing that I would say I've had, or I took with me from the Eastern Cape, is the eloquence. A lot of people say, "Oh, bro, you're very eloquent. You speak a lot and whatnot." And if you met a couple plus of people, you realize, yo, these people can talk, huh? And that's helped me build a lot of networks. It's helped me, in approaching a lot of people, knocking on certain doors and whatnot. So yeah.
No, that is very fresh, bro. And obviously, you just mentioned your mom there, and her, she was like, over my dead body and whatnot. Is she in support of, the music and whatnot?
Yes, fully, bro. Because when I went for the Corner Cypher for the Hip Hop Awards, she was actually in the crowd, bro. She was there with my little brother, and she actually invited two of her old friends to come watch her son rap. And I'm sure they all couldn't understand what's going on and what's happening. These boys, these kids, skating all over the bridge in Joburg. What's happening? But they were there. She stuck throughout the whole session, and she even gave me time to chill with my friends and socialize after that. So she's definitely in full support.
Yeah, this is really lovely, hearing, that, the parents are also involved. You don't get that a lot, with the artists that really come through. And now just looking at, you did mention earlier about, a certain show that you had entered on SABC 1. Please tell me a bit more about that, bro. Any upcoming artists that's listening through, SABC 1 or being on SABC 1 is actually a big deal. It's a huge deal. You're on national television. So how did that come about? How was the whole experience for you, knowing that, I'm going to be making, an appearance on TV and everyone's going to be watching?
So how I found out about the show, a friend of mine said, I don't even remember which friend it was, but they sent me a poster for an audition for a show that's going to be on SABC 1. And I was like, yo, TV. Shit, I've always wanted to be on TV, because we grew up on Yo TV and we've always imagined ourselves on TV. So I went for that audition. It was for a show called One Mic. At that moment, I didn't even know what the fuck is One Mic. And apparently it was for season 2. There had been a previous season that had been already season 1 before that, which I never watched, I've never heard of. So I went for the audition, and they took me, and it was crazy because, I walked around campus, just thinking in my head, looking at people, and I'm thinking, these people don't even know what's about to hit them. That excitement, because I'm gonna be on TV, SABC 1, Zanzi for sure. Everybody watches SABC 1. So we got on the show, and the competition was not that easy, but it was actually great. It was fun. It helped me grow. I think one of the episodes that I was on actually had the highest views, because I think we did about 3 million views, which was a record. We broke a record, and that was crazy because I was thinking to myself, 3 million people were watching me. 3 million people were listening to me rap. That's crazy, And what that has done for me is it's helped me grow so much confidence, because now I'm not afraid of being critiqued. I want to hear actually the criticism. I want to go out there and get the feedback from the people. So it's helped me grow in terms of that. It's helped me reach out to a bigger market. Because I have people from Joburg, that sometimes hit me up on my DMs like, yo, I remember you from One Mic. You that kid from One Mic, right? And I'm like, yeah, like I just saw you again on TV on SABC One and Blow Up a Cave, bro. That's so great. And it's humbling. It's an amazing feeling, bro, because you enter a show thinking you're just doing it for fun, and then bam, somebody is hitting you up claiming that they are a fan and they want to know where they could buy your music and all that, so One Mic was great. I'm really grateful for that. It was a great opportunity for me, which has helped in the progress of my career, and I'm forever grateful, man. I'm forever grateful.
Yeah, and we've obviously seen that you do have a lot of television experience. You also dropped names there. You said you've been on Metro FM. You mentioned DJ Switch. How was that whole experience? How did that part of things, sort of come up for you?
Yo, the DJ Switch thing is crazy because even now I'm still, in disbelief. Because remember I told you we grew up on Yo TV, right? And Switch used to be on Yo TV. I'm sure you remember this.
Yeah, one of the B-boys there.
So and growing up, being a kid that loves hip hop, I've always, imagined myself being part of those people. So for Switch to actually go on the video on Zakwe's timeline on some, yo, I'm here, and he asks Zakwe, should I give this kid a go? And the people went crazy, like, yeah, give him a chance. And he actually gave me a chance. He hit me up he gave me his number. I hit him up on WhatsApp, and we started talking. And we did the interview. It was crazy because how he spoke to me as if, I'm one of the artists that he knows. He actually has a song that he said he loves. It's one of his favorite songs, and that was crazy for me because it's like, whoa. I used to watch this nigga on Yo TV, and now he's having an Instagram live with me. His interview, he wants to know about me on his show. That was crazy. And I guess it also validated a couple things for me because, the certain people now that I'd say kind of take me seriously a little bit more than they did before that. And I'm grateful for that as well because, Switch took a risk on a kid he doesn't know who just called him out on a cypher on just one verse, and he took the risk. He put me on his show, and it was amazing, and he had some powerful words of advice that he dropped. And I listened, and I'm going to be applying all those. It was very encouraging. He told me, keep working, keep working. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm sure you can tell from my voice as well.
Yeah, no, 100%, bro. And I think even for anyone who's listening to this, bro, like there shouldn't be any doubt at all about your capabilities, because I mean, from the beginning when I mentioned, all these artists, you did say you'd sort of bump into them, but if you look at, the artists, you did say that not everyone may notice, but the artists, that matter, may notice. The likes of all Zakwe, dude, the likes of all Switch, they noticing, bro, which means, people they have no choice but to take you seriously, bro. I mean, it only makes sense at this point. And that basically brings me to your music, man. We've heard the live aspects of things. We know you've performed all over the place. You recently dropped some new music there. Name of the song, King of the Hill. Tell me a bit more about that, bro. Who did you feature on the track? Who produced it? And what was sort of the motivation behind it?
All right. So the track is produced by Uipe. He's also from my hometown, actually, and we both in UKZN as well. Crazy, I know. And we never knew each other till UKZN, another thing that I think is crazy. So we had previously worked on Pinky and the Brain, which is another song that Switch said he liked. We dropped Pinky and the Brain, I think it was in 2019, beginning of the year. So when we worked on the track, King of the Hill, he hit me up. We were back home. It was during the lockdown, and he hit me up. He's like, yo, bro, I'm bored. Do you think you could come through? I have a couple beats for you. Let's work on it on an EP or whatever. And I was like, all right, cool, let's go. So we worked on a couple songs. And when I heard the beat, when he dropped that beat for me, the beat for King of the Hill, I went crazy. I was like, yo, I feel like I'm the king of the hill, bro. And that's how it came about. So I started writing my verses. I started writing the hook. I made it simple. And basically the whole song, it addresses how I feel as though I have grown lyrically as an MC and both as a music artist. The first line to the first verse is Charlie Manson in the booth. I think we all know who Charlie Manson is, the serial killer. I know it's a dark line to use, but the whole point, the song basically puts an emphasis on how much I now trust and believe in my lyrical and musical capabilities that, should anybody feel the need to test, I will bring it. So the song is basically about that. It's about how I feel like I'm the king of the hill because I feel as though I'm a bit closer to my goal, to where I'm trying to be. I'm not there yet, and from somebody looking from the outside, I'm way far from getting there. But personally, deep down inside, it feels so close, and it's crazy. So basically, the song is just about that. How do you feel? I feel like I'm the king of the hill. King of the hill is that game. I don't know if you've ever played King of the Hill. For umuntu makaya like myself, kukhona intaba and whatnot. So King of the Hill is that game where you're basically trying to get to the top. Everybody's racing to the top. You're pulling each other down to get to the top of the hill. And whoever gets there first and remains there is King of the Hill. They crown King of the Hill. So basically that's what the song is about. It's about how the road to where we're trying to go is steep. It's like a hill. And we're not only trying to compete with whoever is already there at the top, but we're trying to compete with everyone else that's trying to get to the top, just like the game King of the Hill. It's all fun, it's all games, but the whole point is to be crowned the King of the Hill. It's part of an EP that me and EP worked on. We unfortunately don't have a title for it yet. He's still in the mixing and mastering process. However, the song is out on all digital platforms.
And when can we sort of expect, a release date on that EP that you guys are working on?
Most probably around the 20-something of July, because I was hoping that we could either release it before or on my birthday, which is on the 25th of July. So anytime from this month, like maybe starting from probably the 20th, 21st, it's just a matter of communicating with Uipe, because he's currently still doing a couple of assignments, with the whole lockdown and online learning thing. So he's being distracted with assignments and tests here and there. Hence why he's not done with the mixing and mastering. However, we're done with the songs. We've recorded them. We love them. We're excited. We can't wait for the people to hear them. And that's not the only tape that I'm actually waiting on, because there's a couple tapes that we're working on as Kids in Africa. We had planned to drop in July as well, but unfortunately due to the lockdown, and we've also joined this other collective of artists called X. There's Kids in Africa and Audio Shack, and we have two done tapes. One is called Hentai and the other one is called Anim. And the tape is a bit explicit. It touches on a lot of romantic topics and a lot of I'd say, for the lack of a better word, erotic concepts here and there. It's basically the tape for that type of feel, that hentai type of feel. For whoever knows what hentai is, it's exactly that. But obviously it accommodates other people that can't listen to explicit content, because it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
That is flames. That is flames, bro. We're nearing the end of the show. Just one or two things that I want to get from you. Is there any advice that you could give your peers or any other upcoming artists? I don't believe you actually still like an upcoming artist or underground, bro, considering your achievements. So anyone who's sort of starting out right now, what advice would you give them? What sort of moves should they make to sort of be in a position that you're in?
First and foremost, don't give up. That's literally the first thing. Because, often I have a couple of friends that used to dance, that used to make music, they feel as though they're a bit old now and they've given up on that. All that is child's play. It's never going to happen. It should have happened if it was meant to happen. Like, don't give up. There's people that blow up at the age of 40, at the age of 35, at the age of whatnot. We see it every day. And always look out for energies, look out for vibes, always assess, evaluate the energies around you, because sometimes some energies actually drain your energy and some energies are there to build up on your energy. You know what I'm saying? So I'd say be very aware of the energies around you, be very aware of who you keep around you, and whoever's in your circle, has to be somebody that brings progress, that benefits you in a way. And I'm not talking just in terms of the craft, but it has to be somebody that keeps you happy, because a happy spirit is a working spirit, is a productive spirit. You know what I'm saying? So just be in tune with your vibes, always be in tune with yourself, always remember what you want first and foremost, and always just look for the people around you, check the energies around you, make sure that it's people that care about your interests, that are for the vision, that are for the mission, because I was very fortunate enough to run into people that actually are on the same frequency as me, KIA, and they've helped me grow so much, and yeah, definitely that's what I'd like to say to whoever that's still starting out. And most importantly, believe in yourself. King Loss always says, flip, I literally forgot the quote, and it's one of my favorites, but something along the lines of how people are searching for themselves outside, when they should be looking within. So I'd basically also want to relay those words, look for you within, because, at the end of the day, people try to be somebody else. People try to be, the next person. They try out whatever they feel is working, in terms of sound and whatnot. I would have given up on boom bap had I been one of those people and been on some, trap is what's working now. Let me go for trap. You know what I'm saying? But I stuck to that boom bap, and it's got me their attention. Never stop learning as well. Whatever you do, while you stick to whatever you're good at, whatever you love, always learn something else on the side. Always pick up a new skill. Be open for suggestion. Be open for advice. You don't have to take it, but always listen to advice.
That is, I couldn't have said that any better myself, bro. In closing, obviously, before we get your handles and everything, I need us to tackle one social issue. I feel like we need to play a part in this. Gender-based violence has been happening. It's been a huge thing in South Africa. What role is this guy, that guy, playing to sort of tackle this gender-based violence?
It's very sad, and it's infuriating as well, I'm pissed off as a man, first and foremost. I'm pissed off as a man. I'm pissed off as a son to my mother, as a sister. As a brother to my sisters. I'm pissed off as a boyfriend to my girl. Because our females are not safe, and it's us. It's no one else. It's us. I'm very shameful to be calling myself a man, but at the same time, I understand that I have a role to play as a man. To call out when these things happen. So what I always do is I try my best to reflect on the times, on what's happening in my music. I remember just recently on the interview with Switch was actually saying that, yo, bro, it's crazy, because I put out a song titled Breathe, which was addressing the whole police injustice, both in America and here in South Africa, And Switch was saying that, yo, it's crazy that you released this song around this time. And often people think that we do that because we're chasing trends, or we're trying to get clout because we're talking about what's happening at that time. But in the wise words of Nina, the responsibility of an artist is to reflect on the times. And I try my best, to do that, in the music, through the poems as well. And another thing is, that's not all there is. We're not just artists at the end of the day. We're real life people that go through real life issues. Amachita don't have these platforms. We don't have platforms where we talk about our issues as a matot. So I always try, along with KIA, with my brothers, we always try to create platforms where sizokwazi uthetha as amadoda about our issues and what's bothering us, So I don't just only talk about it in the music. I try my best. And I just recently realized one thing, my bro. I'm sorry for dragging. I am part of the problem. I'm part of the problem because I've witnessed someone out there be abused, be it verbally or physically. And I've always thought to myself that, yo, it's not my place to interfere. It's not my place to say anything or to do anything. And if the girl is not going to walk away, who am I? And that, my brother, that thinking, that reasoning, it's toxic, and it's what has led us to this crisis today. Because we often think, nah, it's not my place. It's not my place. But I think it's time that we snitch, even on our friends that do such things. We cut them off, and even after cutting them off, if they don't stop what they're doing, we snitch. We snitch. Yo, I'm gonna report you. I'm gonna report your ass. And we actually do that because I feel like we protect these people. We apologize for other men that are abusive. I think it was 2 days ago, a friend of mine actually visited me, and I was reading the news about the soldier that apparently violated the woman. I don't know if you've heard that. And I was telling him, I was reading that out to my friend, and he said, yeah, but how sure are you that it happened? I mean, this is a soldier. He wouldn't do that. That mentality is toxic because that's the first thing that we do as amachita. The moment you hear ukuthi umchita that you know personally, ukuthi kuthiwa wenze into ekanje, you want to apologize for them. You want to say, nah, Usman, are you sure this happened? So it's time we call each other out as amachita, bafethu. It's time we call each other out as a machete. It's time we take a stand because our females are being killed regardless, whether they cry out, whether they quiet, and so some people, they are afraid. For some people, they are afraid of how they're going to be looked at, because what we do is when these people come out, we judge them. We question them. We ask, why didn't you walk away? Couldn't you see the red flags? So it's about time, Tina, as a machita, that we call each other out. Aside from that, I try to address the issues on my music. There's a cipher that I was part of, which is being organized by the Captain Hook, Reverb 360. And on the verse there, I speak on how we need to start looking out and protecting our sisters. How we need to shade them from our anger, and all that. So it's a sad issue. Honestly speaking, it's a sad issue which actually pisses me off every time I think about it.
Hey, that is very solid, bro. I think you went to, in depth there, and it's really cool to know that, you are actually doing something about it as well. It's really inspirational stuff, man. I just want to thank you for joining us on the show. I really appreciate this, man. I've learned a lot from you. I've learned a lot about you. I'm very inspired and very motivated. I really hope that someone else that's listening to this is as motivated as well. Just before we close out, bro, I think we should close out with King of the Hill, as it is, one of your recent releases. Just give us your handles, bro, where people can get in touch with you, bookings and all that. Hit us up.
All right, first and foremost, thank you so much for having me, and thanks to everybody who's listening. So find me on Instagram at ThisGuy ThatGuy _SA. That's one word, ThisGuy ThatGuy _SA. Also on Facebook, it's just This Guy. That's one word. Space That Guy. That's one word. On YouTube, it's This Guy, one word, That Guy _TV. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. I just got recently nominated for the City Awards, 031 Awards, Best Newcomer. And I'd like for people to vote for me, man. It's 3 Rand an SMS, and you can vote as many times as you can. So you basically SMS 031, that's 031, space, This Guy, one word, space, That Guy, one word, to 35029. That's 35029. So 031, This Guy, That Guy, to 35029. Thank you.
Thank you so much once again, This Guy, That Guy. Bro, we're going to be playing out with, King of the Hill. Obviously, guys, do tune into this episode. It's going to be available on SoundCloud. We are Sludge Underground. On Apple Podcasts, we are Sludge Underground Podcast. And obviously on Spotify, Sludge Underground Podcast. Please do check us out on our social media. On Facebook, Sludge Underground. On Twitter, at Sludge031. And on Instagram, at Sludge Underground. As for myself, it's at Zwane, ZWANE 031. One word. And yeah, guys, until next time, it's been This Guy, That Guy. It's been CP Zwane, and we are closing out with King of the Hill. It's bye for now.
So how do you feel? How do you feel? Like I'm the king of the hill. Only one real up in here. Only one real up in. They say, how do you feel? How do you feel? Like I'm the king of the hill. Only one real up in here. Only one real up in here. I said, how do you feel? How do you feel? Like I'm the king of the hill. Only one real up in here. Only one real up in here. So how do you feel? So how do you feel? So how do you? Charlie Manson in the booth. Fuck these rappers in the school. Don't be messing with the god of essence, I am such a blessing in the room. Don't be messing with the dude. Hardly rapping, I'm abusing. All of these jokers that they jump on features is body bags when I move. Ngeke uyimele ungayisusi. I hear your tracks and I snooze. I got no time to be making no friendships, I'm off the cash and the music. 100 stacks and go stupid. Get my fam a whole new crib. Tell the gang we exclusive. Twala ngeke basithuse. It's the fucking keys and it's fuck your peace and your politics. It's a time to eat, you can bump the cheese or we'll suck on these. So how do you feel? How do you feel? Like I'm the king of the hill. Only one real up in here. Only one real up in. They say how do you feel? How do you feel? Like I'm the king of the hill. Only one real up in here. Only one real up in here. I said how do you feel? How do you feel? Like I'm the king of the hill. Only one real up in here. Only one real up in here. I said how do you feel? So how do you feel? King of the hill for real. I swear you don't know what kid is ill. I sugar magnier, with son of a gun, like Schubeck feel. Here to show my skill. Get a few shows and kill. Touch a few souls and heal. Fuck what you thought is real. Simple schemes for you simple teams. Kid is sick, needs some medicine. Vicodin, cause I bring him pain. Looney Bean, cause the kid insane. Man, the fuck is a top list. When I'm on the mic, I am so crisp. Open my heart, let the soul speak. Channel my vibes like an old spirit. I got no time for no nonsense. Only one stacks that I'm all set. All of this goes and I'm not impressed. Only focus is zip business. Yes. Only focus is zip business. Fuck what you thought. So how do you feel? How do you feel? Like I'm the king of the hill. Only one real up in here. Only one real up in. They say how do you feel? How do you feel?